Today, we'll be looking at some easy to implement strategies that will allow you to, for once and for all, save at least $5,000. And we'll do that in under 1 year. So stay tuned. Hey, Frank Thomas here from Wealth Generation Strategies, and today we're going to be looking at strategies that you can employ to save $5,000 in under 1 year. Plus, it will not require you to alter your current spending if you don't want to. I don't want to put any pressure on your current financial situation. The idea is to find ways to raise this cash outside of your budget if possible. The first question you may have is why $5,000? I routinely discuss episodes in the making with my wife, and she felt that $10,000 may be a bit steep for some people. She felt that $5,000 was a much more obtainable figure. With a bit of thinking, I completely agreed. I think if you can save $5,000, you've started your journey to saving your first $100,000. Also, I want you to commit yourself to never, ever spending the capital that you saved during this challenge. In other words, one day you'll get to spend the profits from the capital, but not the capital itself. This may be a big mind shift for you, but it is completely necessary. It's useless to save if you're not really saving. Remember, we're trying to learn to not rob from our future self. And let's look at what I mean by our future self. Remember that saving $5,000 and investing into something simple that will give you a total return of at least 8% per year will turn that $5,000 to close to $55,000 in 30 years. In other words, don't kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. Well, initially I wasn't too excited, and you might not be too excited with this. 30 years, $55,000? But if you decided after year one to continue contributing about $416 per month, after 30 years, get this, it becomes almost $670,000. So is your blood running a little warmer? Plus, I was surprised to find out that a survey done recently by the Health Care of Ontario Pension Plan found that 44% of adults between the ages of 55 and 64 have saved less than $5,000. Isn't that interesting? So let's break this down before we discuss the strategies you'll be employing. If we take $5,000 and divide it among the months, then that will mean that $5,000 goal in 1 year, you'll need to save $416.67 per month. Hence why I mentioned $416 earlier. I know that many of us have car payments that are more than that. If you break it down further on a daily basis, that works out to $13.70 per day over the course of 365 days a year. I know I did say that it wasn't going to alter your current spending, but let's just take a think about something here on that last figure for a second. Right now, eating downtown in Calgary, where I work, is easily $13, $14 per day. $13.70? I know a lot of co-workers who buy their lunch just about every day downtown. Right there, by bagging it, you can save $5,000 right from the start. No other changes in your life. You're done. Even if you hold off on your daily Starbucks, you can easily make that first $5 or more per day. Something to definitely think about if you decide to take up this challenge. But let's get started. My first strategy, beyond what I just mentioned, is to consider getting a part-time job. I know you may be going, ugh. So don't roll your eyes on this one, and don't dismiss it too quickly. I needed extra funds when I was younger, and there was no Uber Eats or any fancy delivery service. I literally delivered pizzas to a local university on the weekends for a local pizzeria. I would easily clean up on these deliveries. I know I could have easily saved that much just on weekends. If you can snag a part-time weekend job that gives you 7 hours of shifts per week at $15, you'd make your goal. Yes, you're trading time for money, and in our second strategy, we'll be trading something else. In the second strategy, take a look at the stuff in your house. We all hold on to stuff we no longer need or use for way too long. Do a bit of spring cleaning and start putting all that stuff you just don't need anymore aside. When I was raising my first 5,000, this was my very first strategy. I was able to raise almost 4,000 of the 5,000 in a few weeks by identifying what I wanted to get rid of and putting them up on Facebook Place. With this strategy alone, you can easily save your first $5,000. Oh, and don't forget that extra car in the driveway. Do you really need it any longer? It could be $5,000 all by itself, if not more. One more point before I move on. Just because something you have doesn't have value to you anymore doesn't mean that it's not valuable to somebody else. A good example of this is I purchased a small drill press at a garage sale, for about $25 years ago. When I moved from my last house, I sold it for $35, and yes, I made a profit, and if I had 10 more, I'd have sold them as well. Apparently, they were very hard to get used and knew they were worth so much more. This fall, I'll be selling my gas-powered snowblower. I barely used it, and I think I can get at least a cool $700, so I've saved my first $700. The next strategy may be just dead easy. How many of us have cash, literally cash, lying around the house? You may think you don't, but I recommend looking. Do you have a jar with loose coins in it? That could easily be $50. What about change in your furniture? I remember cleaning out a couch in our sitting room and finding close to $20 in change jingling around inside of it. I just dug through all my office desk drawers before this video, and get this, I had over $635 sitting in those drawers, and I'm dead serious. This is not a mock-up. This is truth. Over the years, I've thrown a few bucks on my desk here and there, and over time, it's turned into this amount. It's time to go to the bank. Just in planning this episode, I've now come up with at least $1,300. 600 and 700, 1,300. There we go. Another place to look for money that could literally be lying around is to check all your old computers and old cell phones before you recycle them. Is there a crypto wallet on them? Don't laugh at this one, but I found an old crypto wallet on an old PC I was about to recycle that had a wallet on it from a few years back. I didn't even think about it because I didn't think it had more than a couple hundred, maybe $100 in it at the time. When I got the wallet open and cashed it out, even after paying all the fees, I still ended up with over $13,000. So don't overlook this one. It allowed me to start building my 100,000 real fast. Not 5,000, 100,000. I know I still have one more crypto wallet that I've mined about a year or so back, and I think it's currently worth about $1,000. So I think I'm up to roughly $2,300 now. If you've already found some of your first 5,000, consider giving this video a like and consider subscribing. It really does help me out, and I love to put out great videos just like this. If you don't want any of the hassle, though, of any of the above strategies, here's one I recommend you employ for sure. How many dollars every month are you just throwing away, literally throwing away to expenses that you've gotten used to spending? It sounds crazy if you've already gone through your expenses, but there's always room to reduce your overall expenses. And I'm not talking about cutting out all the fun of your life. I'm definitely recommending looking at your want expenses, though. These expenses are things you want but don't really need. Expenses in this are subscriptions that you no longer use or you just don't get the value of. If you don't watch Netflix, it's time to cut the cord. It's that easy. Second, and more importantly, look at your need expenses. These are expenses for things you do need in life. Do you need to spend $700 a month in life insurance? I didn't. I still have some life insurance, but I cut that expense in half. What about your house and car insurance? Between the two, my insurance was over $600 per month. I believe it's like close to $660 per month. When I contacted my insurance company, they basically told me to shut up and pay up. That's how much it is. Well, I decided to do some comparison shopping, and I went to an insurance broker whose job is to help you find the best insurance at the lowest rates. And they did just that. They were able to shave my insurance costs by over $300 per month. What was it in the end for me? I was able to go from saving nothing on a monthly basis to saving over $400 per month. When I saw the value of this exercise, I got brutal. And I was able to make it that I was saving over $1,000 per month just by shaving expenses. I wasn't working any harder, and now it's not saving $5,000 per year, but $12,000 per year. One last strategy that can definitely help you in the long run. Start to work on your side passion. For me, one of them is making YouTube videos, just like this one. Though it's not helping me save right now, one day it will. So be sure to like the video. Did you get that? Like the video. I've been following another channel for a few years, and I've been watching them grow over time, and they've become monetized, and I'm sure they're making an easy $3,000 to $10,000 per month. Yeah, you bet. Your side passion could be making quilts. My wife has a thriving business that grew from her love of making quilts. The benefit right now is that you get to do something that brings you joy right here, right now. And you honestly can't put a price on that. So there you go. A bunch of easy strategies to raise your first $5,000. Get crack-a-lackin', man. Make it a challenge with your family members. You'll be shocked at what your family can do, united to a common cause. But you may be asking, Frank, what am I going to do with my first $5,000 to grow it effectively? Well, I'm glad you asked, because right now is a video I did recently that's gotten a lot of views that talks all about dividend investing. Be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for your precious time, and I hope you take up the challenge of raising your first $5,000. Don't be a part of those 44% who don't. Cheers. Have a nice day. Frank Thomas will talk to you again. Bye-bye.